Welcome to the Nerd Party.
I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And this is City Alpha 3.
Welcome to City Alpha 3, Star Trek podcast, the Nerd Party's dedicated Star Trek show here on the network, at least for all things Star Trek Discovery Review. I'm joined by Darren Moser and Daniel Prue. Gentlemen, has this week been a good time for you?
Jeez. Has it only been a week? It feels so much longer since last Thursday when we saw this episode.
I saw it twice, so yeah.
Which time was the better one?
I'll save that for later, and then we'll get into it.
I mean, did seeing it a second time really crystallize what was going on? All right. Well, of course, the Nerd Party just doesn't have one Star Trek show. We actually have Punch It, of course, and joining us this week to talk all things Star Trek Discovery for this week is Charlene Schmidt. Charlene, how are you doing?
I am well. Thank you very much, and it's good to be back.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it makes me think of Jet Reno. I mean, you were in our first Discovery Season 2 episode, Char, and just like Jet Reno, now you're back after a long hiatus.
I'm back because I have a bitch of a hangnail.
And I have a beard. It all comes together. So, of course, we'll be talking about Through the Valley of Shadows, episode 12 here of season 2, as we do the countdown to the conclusion of the second season of Star Trek Discovery, which will answer all your questions and make us wanting more for season 3, already approved, coming to CBS All Access. So, let's just do opening thoughts. Char, you're the guest. We haven't talked to you in a while. So, I don't know how you've been feeling for the whole Red Angel, Seven Signals, everything else for the past time we talked to you, but sort of what'd you think, or what were you expecting, if anything, going into this episode, and then generally what'd you think of this episode?
It really has been a while, hasn't it? Oh, man. Yeah, we've been through quite a ride. My only hope for the Red Angel thing the whole time was that it wasn't Michael. So when we got to that episode where they reveal in the teaser, oh, guess what? It's Michael. I'm like, are you kidding me? I fell for that hook, line, and sinker, and I was so disappointed. And then, of course, we get the nice twist at the end. It's not Michael, it's her mother. I thought, okay, we're back now. We're good. It's been a lot of ups and downs. There's been a lot of times when I have not been really sure how I really feel, what I'm really thinking about where things are going, and I'm just like, hold on. Give it a couple more weeks. Let this play out. Let's see what happens. Give it a freaking chance. Because my knee-jerk reaction is always just like, what? Huh? And so I have to take that step back and breathe a little bit because, unfortunately, Star Trek does not breathe a little bit, not Discovery. And so that's probably been one of my biggest critiques of this season is that it's been so jam-packed. They're doing so much that, frankly, it's a little hard to keep up. So when we actually get some heartfelt moments, like when Culber's talking to Admiral Cornwell, and we're actually getting some real processing of some of the crap that's gone down, I'm thrilled. I want so much more of that. So coming to where we are now, with just, a couple of episodes left of the season, I'm ready for answers. How about you guys?
Yes, and I believe we will have 2 episodes worth to get them, if my math is correct. Because I
don't know. I mean, how many signals are left, Philip? We got to cram those in.
Yes.
Yeah, but only 2 episodes. That means we have to do at least 1 or 2 in the next episode.
Now,
That's why we have time crystals.
Now, Daniel, I know everyone's favorite.
Is that why, Char? Is that why?
That's my theory.
Now,
We're going to timey-wimey spore drive it all.
Now, Daniel, everyone knows your favorite quote is, I love math. And so with only 2 episodes left, what'd you think of Through the Valley of Shadows?
Yeah, it's.
All right, Darren,
Spit it
what'd
out,
you
man.
think of the episode, other than lots of sighs and eye rolling?
I mean, it had some cool moments. I think once we were down on, was it Borath?
Yes.
The
Borath.
monastery. That
The
was
Time
really cool.
Crystal
I mean,
Planet.
Yeah, I think all the stuff they did down there was really interesting because it was new. We saw the D7 show up in all its glory, which was pretty cool.
That was cool.
I mean, they built
Yeah.
that pretty fast. And I was really glad to see Jet Reno back because I really like her. She's an awesome character. She's kind of that. She's kind of got a little dash of Guinan in her, a little bit of sass. Like I'm gonna, basically she had tennis elbow, but it was instead a hangnail. I mean, it's basically the same thing as what we got when she was talking to Culber. But
You mean the
but
character whose name
overall-
rhymes with poo?
yeah, but overall, it's weird because I don't feel this is where I thought we'd be with 2 episodes left, because it's like, okay, so much of our goal was spent trying to find out who the Red Angel was, and there was almost really no Red Angel at all in this one because apparently we're done with that chapter. But and it was kind of cool to see Michael react to the Shenzhou crewman, who was the what is it called, Section 31 agent / AI. I guess.
Control.
Yeah, I mean, the only downside I kind of feel with that is I feel like the rules for the AI control are fast and loose, whereas I think that should be something that's more defined. So it's like, okay, like I could understand if it was what's his name, the
Leland.
Leland. I can understand if it's just Leland, but all of a sudden these nanobots are like transmitting over the air, and they infect a ship, and then they infect a person. Like it's like, okay, I guess that's possible, but I don't know. It felt very much like kind of out of nowhere. But by everyone's smiles, I'm sure we're going to talk about that.
Well, and Daniel, of course, I was just kidding, playing over you. But I figure for this episode, I'm just going to do something crazy. I'm going to go sort of in reverse priority order. So this episode, I believe, don't quote me, but I'm 99% sure this is the writing team for the Section 31 show. Or, it's Boo, and I forget her writing partner. But it's the 2 people who are going to be the showrunners for Section 31 show. But anyway, so who wrote this episode? But anyway, this actually did have, not that you always have to have it, but has an A, B, and a C. So I thought we'd go CBA. That way we can just sort of get things out of the way. So Daniel, the C story was the, as we sort of talked about before, Jet and Dr. Culber. So, which I predicted is only ever going to be a C story, unfortunately. But anyway, what'd you think of their talk mentions? I think it was about 2 scenes, which I guess is sort of, not however much a C story gets. But
Sorry, this was written by Bo Kim and Erica Lippold.
Yeah, and I believe those are the Section 31 showrunners. So, but anyway, so what did you think, Daniel?
I thought it's interesting. Everybody's talking about having Engineer Lady back, and I like her. But in the first scene in the C plot, she comes off as super callous and like mean-spirited almost. Like she's like, "Oh, you haven't gotten over that yet." And then in the next scene, she goes and tries to patch things up with Culber. So I was like kind of confused at her motivation. Like she's like, "I need my engineer buddy at 100%," but we don't see. Like I guess he's sad a little bit, but he still seems to be doing his job just fine. I don't know. It feels like they're pushing this character motivation stuff without letting it flow, without letting it come from the characters. And I don't know, maybe they only had her for the day or something. But I guess they get to play that word game with the Saurian guy. So that was
Linus.
Yeah, Linus, yeah.
Linus is the best. Bamboo Boy.
Bamboo Boy, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was because it's actually again, I don't mean this in a negative way, it's a sitcom trope because she actually has terrible motivations. She's not, I'm going to go, I see these are my friends, because, she had her little Stamets moment a couple episodes back, so they're like frenemies or something. But, she's like, oh, in order to get him working, let me go make his boyfriend fall in love with him again, and I'm gonna go pretend to be sweet, and that's like, okay, well, okay. So it's like, I don't know how much to trust her. She's sort of an unreliable narrator, as we say in the business. It's like, I don't know what you're coming from. And then she sort of unlocks the fellow LGBT card. So it's like, we're cool, right? Okay, now go make out with your boyfriend so I can get to work here. So,
although he obviously was working well enough to fix the spore drive, because they spore drive jumped in this episode.
Right.
Yeah, and she even acknowledges that. You should be proud, you should be happy. We spore jumped again. And he's just like, no, not really. I've not saved the world yet, so things are not cool. It's not okay. I had a kind of a mixed reaction with the whole Jet Reno thing. For one, yes, it was awesome to see her again. I love Jet freaking Reno. I want to see Tig Notaro in every episode. Her scene with Culber, it was enjoyable, but I do have a little bit of a bone to pick with it. I really appreciated her relating to Culber on a personal level, sharing a bit of her past to relate to him. That's cool. Because I think what happened with her and Stamets in the mess hall was she realized just how much crap these two are really working through. Like, they are not getting over it. And it has been some time, but this is a slow process, and so I feel like she's trying to jumpstart it. And even though I think it was well-intentioned, and I think she was just trying to put the bug in Culber's ear to not give up on Stamets, it came across as a bit pushy, and I didn't appreciate that.
Yeah, because, again, you mentioned, Char, how Discovery doesn't breathe. How long
Right.
has it really been since he came back from the dead? 2 weeks? I mean, like...
A month at most?
Like they said, a few weeks since Culber moved out of their quarters.
Right. So...
Yeah, and her first line is, "Oh, we're still doing this," and it's like,
Like, dude,
he just came back from the dead and then left him. Like, what do you mean
Yeah.
we're still doing this? This is ridiculous.
like, no big deal? Really? Oh, come on.
Because
You have all been through so much dang trauma. It really is a miracle there were not ships on, or counselors aboard the ships until the 24th century.
I mean, she's over being stranded for a year. I mean, if you can't get over being back from the dead, walk it off, buddy.
I guess some people are more resilient than others. We
guess.
can't acknowledge that.
That's right. Yeah, and look, again, I've always been on record. I love Culber, and then though I realize the guy works out a lot. I would love for him not to look like he's straining a muscle or veins in his face. I feel like he's like doing dead weights as he does a scene. I'm just like, man, Lord, just relax, buddy. But and the Stamets, I've warmed up to Stamets sort of over time. But I don't understand what Culber is going through. But I mean, like, literally. So, like, just to say, like, oh, he has PTSD. Well, what does that mean? I mean, is he having bad dreams? Does he have an identity crisis? I mean, just like he feels bad. That doesn't tell me what he's going through.
Right. One therapy session alone is not going to fix that up. He's not okay.
Yeah, I just feel like the broad brush, because they never said PTSD, but I think that's sort of the fan is like, PTSD, well, that's not like what exactly, Yeah, I think we have to be a little more specific and what, just to make it more interesting and to get details so we can know, and for the actor to know what to show or what to do, but I don't know.
Right. Some of those smaller details, Discovery really does gloss over a lot of that stuff that I think really would be useful to us, both in terms of as an audience, but also for these characters to show what they are working through and if they are working through or not. Because they're telling us, not showing us.
I can't agree with you more. And Darren mentioned it earlier when he said that they were playing fast and loose with the rules. And like, that is Discovery's MO. That's what, I mean, we do this every week. This is the same frustrations, is the fact that they don't care about how and why things happen. They just need things to happen in sequence. Bam,
Right,
we gotta
they
have this
just
and
get
this
there.
and this and this. I don't care how, the time crystals work. Just time crystal. Just keep saying time crystal, and that will explain everything. And then, so when things like this happen, when you're doing with like personal character motivations, it matters. The little bits and the details and like the motivations are what drive the story and what like make it interesting to watch. So if we don't get that, it's more an exercise in frustration than anything.
You know what's really weird? I just had a thought. It doesn't feel like the May episodes were this season. Don't they feel like they were literally like last season? It feels like so long ago.
I don't think Tilly was
that
even
we were
in this episode.
She was
Right,
in
but
the
I-
scene.
In the mess
Right,
hall?
but I'm
the
just
mess.
saying if it's like,
No.
okay, we did all of that, but why? Like, I mean, okay, last season it was all about spore drive and we got a lot about how it worked and a lot of the idiosyncrasies of it and the problems that you can have of it.
That's true.
I would have liked to see that with the time suit, like have more of that. Maybe put more of who the Red Angel is on the front end or something like that, and then the rest of them is them trying to like backwards engineer it or something. I don't know. It's just
Like,
Yeah.
you want them to rein it in a little bit, really understand what these massive story points are all about. What can we do with them? Are they vulnerable? I mean, can they, in the same way that we have Genesis in the TOS movies, I mean, can they be perverted into a weapon, as Dr. Marcus said?
Right. Well, if you read the comics and novels, it will explain everything. Darren, quick question, Darren. Were you surprised to learn that Reno was a widow?
I mean, it was. I wouldn't say I was surprised. It was more like. It was just an interesting way to go about it. Of like, oh look, here's a shot of her finger. You see the ring. Oh, we're gonna talk about that now. Oh, okay. And now end scene. Like, I honestly never expect this to ever come up again, ever.
Now we all have to rewatch and see if she's been wearing that ring the whole time. Of course, here's my question, right?
Well, it looked like it was on like the pointer finger, and it was farther down. It was way subtle. It almost
Okay.
looked like a tattoo.
Oh, well, I can
But-
pause. Don't worry. But here's my question. So, am I right? She was stranded for a year on the planet. So when did she find out her wife died?
I don't know. You know what
So
had
I
been
see.
interesting
She could have
is,
found out before or after. I see what you're saying.
right?
Well, if
was
it's
she on that
after,
same ship, maybe?
I have questions because she's only known that for a month.
That's true. And then so is she working through some crap? It had to have been while she was stranded. Was her wife aboard the same ship even?
You know, that'd be interesting.
Now that could have been a serious
I think that'd be more
thing.
powerful. I mean, the way and I don't know is the answer, Char. So you're right. You could be right. I mean, when you say she died in the Klingon War, not like she died when we crashed. You know what I'm saying? But you could be right.
I
So,
get the feeling I would put money on before she got stranded for a year
how long
because
has the war been?
I don't know. It was hard when our crew goes to another universe halfway through it and then jumps back 9 months later.
Oh, that's true. Wait, they timed. How
Yeah.
far did they time jump?
They were 9 months into the future
Okay,
from
so-
when they jumped before, plus all the time that we'd have of the war up to then,
So
which
from-
had been a while. So at least a year.
So from Battle to Binary to Laurel, the
You know,
Chancellorship
if
is
only we got star dates in the beginning of these episodes.
That's true. Those are noticeably not around.
because didn't that mean? And again, I know I'm sorry I'm doing it, but that means assuming, and I would assume, maybe stupidly, that I agree, she would find that the wife died before Reno got stranded, but that means it's still a short period. I mean, it could have only been a couple months. If you've been a year.
Okay, so
Oh God, here
Battle of the Binary Stars, it says stardate 12/1207.3, and then the end of it would be known as the very end, right?
Yeah, I mean the last episode of season
Well,
one.
it says unknown, so if we go back to what's past as prologue, that's the last one I have a stardate on. That's when they're in the mirror universe.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
That is saying to be 1834. I don't know. It's
I don't know.
stardates. They're really weird.
But anyway,
It's
so
all made up and it doesn't matter.
just like the points and who's on it anyway.
Exactly.
So like assuming that it was before she got stranded, that means fairly recent event, right? Everyone mourns in their own way, pretty bad. But that means she was mourning while she was stranded, so she doubled traumatized.
Seriously.
Apparently, a month later, she's fine, guys. She's fine. Okay. Well, that's enough of that. Let's go to the B story. And that's, in my opinion, that would be the sort of Burnham Section 1 and Spock story. I mean, I don't know. I thought that was the B story. A and B are very close, but that's what I'm calling the B story. So, Char, what'd you think of Life Aboard Section 31 ship with the
This
Burnham
is-
Spock buddy comedy?
So, first off, I love how Saru's approach to this whole thing got the party started. He approves Burnham's request, like, yeah, go do the thing, that's cool. But then without her knowledge, he sends Spock to go along, because why would you send one person on a very potentially dangerous situation? I mean, it could be nothing. It could be every freaking thing, and she could easily have gotten herself, for lack of a better term, assimilated. So it was good that he had the thoughtfulness to send Spock with her. That was fantastic, and it just shows so much why Saru is ready for the center seat. He needs to be there. So I don't know. I'm really ready for that to happen, because we know that Pike is up at the end of this season. Saru needs to take the chair. It's rightfully his. So all of that said, now with the Section 31, this has probably been like kind of the story point that I've had the most trouble with in Discovery. I really don't know how much I like it. I don't really know where it's going. And with the artificial intelligence, my worry is the same as I think a lot of people's, is like, is this the Borg or isn't it? Is it like the predecessor to the Borg? I just want to kind of see how this plays out before making any judgments. But I really don't want them to go for the Borg. That is my wish, because it's been so done. Can we not go there? But I need definitive proof that is not happening. So I guess we'll just see.
The fact that they keep using, like, I got that it happened once, the eye thing, because that was the random Leland, whatever. Mm-hmm. But they keep doing the eye thing, and I'm like, it kind of speaks to like Locutus in First Contact,
Right.
So I'm like, okay, is
right.
that the only way to do it?
They're deliberately giving us echoes of the Borg, like the eye thing, and then when, what is the name, Gant, when he starts talking in sort of like that monotone, mechanical voice, he's talking like a freaking Borg. I'm sorry, that's way too close for comfort.
You have the nanites that are all swarming over towards Michael. I mean,
right.
What other technology uses? No other species uses that but the Borg.
Right. So really, I mean, I think the one cool thing I think we're getting out of this so far anyway is that the whole thing, if every ship right now at the very end of this episode is infected with control, this would explain why Section 31 went dormant for so long, maybe just completely out of the picture for a long time until the 24th century. That does explain that. So cool, because this is not a good situation.
They just vacuum sealed all the Section 31 agents in the 23rd century.
Right. Didn't happen. Wash our hands clean.
Though I did it, and again, it doesn't matter, but I think about these things. So with Gant, and I know he was taken over, but assume for the moment, which is an assumption, that before we knew he was AI, everything he said is true, in as much as his background. So in other words, he's saying, Shinzu, the Battle of the Binary Star kind of left me, whatever. And so I joined 31. But, like, is that how they recruit? Like, is it just, like, Section 31 posters? Like, come join 31 to help save the... I'm like, not a very secret organization. I thought they, like, showed up in your bedroom at night and turned on the lamp and be like... And then put a bag over your head and, fraternity hates you or something. Yeah.
It does seem like this incarnation of Section 31 was not very secret. It seems more like an elite organization. Mm-hmm. Not a secret organization. It becomes secret in the 24th century because I think a lot of people would find that disturbing. And maybe it's related to all of this. Now, did you guys trust Gant for a freaking second? Because that is what sort of ruined this whole thing for me.
I think a little bit.
I mean, I did.
You seem like a wuss.
I guess.
But
I trusted him mostly just because it seemed like a really long play for him to be the one who's infected, and he's out in space. Like, he wasn't the only crewman who was still on the ship. He was the only one who had slight life signs. So if their plan was to get discovered, it seemed like a long shot.
I mean, his story had a few holes, but I assume that was just the bad writing I've expected from Discovery. So it was sort of like, the AI tripped and they started, sucking everyone else, but I had enough time to get a suit on. Oh, you had enough time to get a suit on. And wherever you were happened to have a suit. Okay, whatever, I'll buy it.
Right,
but,
and I'm sure that suit provided just enough life support to keep him going for however long it was going to take Michael to come out and find him. Sorry, I didn't buy this for a second. I knew he was going to be the foil. And I was just screaming at Burnham the whole time, pretty much cussing her out. Like, just don't do this. And so thank goodness Spock was there to save the day, because otherwise this was way too easy.
Yes. Dan, what'd you think of Spock in this episode?
I will say I liked the little quip about the magnetizing the floor. I liked that. I thought that was a clever little bit. I really did like that. And how does control work? If your ship is infected, where did okay, that's fine. Let's grant
We're all shrugging, listeners.
Yeah. Let's grant that the ship was infected. By the way, ship number 62, because we don't have ship names, we just have ship numbers, which is the dumbest thing in Section 31, but whatever. Okay, so there's got to be an agent of the control to take over Gant's body. There has to be nanobots or something. There's got to be something there.
Does there?
Yes. How?
Now,
how-
Daniel, and Char, I know, is the expert here. I don't mean to just talk for her. You know, the Borg Queen, sometimes she seems like she's not there, but then when you do a movie a couple years later, she was there the whole time.
You always forget to pan a little bit to the left.
Yeah.
Right, and there's her floating head and her neck, her
Yeah.
spine. She is
it
the one who has many.
Yep.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, a lot of this doesn't make sense. But where did they come from? I don't know how they got there. Presumably, Leland is out there, still alive, right? Question mark.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
I don't
Leland's
know.
not dead.
Well, the
'Cause he
Section
was-
31 ship is, Scarper.
he was down on the planet, and they fired on it. But then the next thing we hear is the Section 31 ship is leaving.
We detected a
I'm
transporter
assuming-
beam.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure they beamed him up and then ejected Ash Tyler and then zipped off.
I think Ash Tyler ejected himself, but yeah.
That's
So
what I thought too.
This ship is infected.
Right.
They blow everybody out of the airlocks.
Like you do.
Sure, why
At
not?
some point, something has to either bring Gant back in or infect him while he's in space.
Right.
Well, I thought he was infected before he got launched out.
Actually, I, in my head, and again, it's because none of it makes sense, but I just sort of, in my watching, I was like, I assumed he was already ejected, and they're like, oh, wait, forgot, boom, infect that guy.
I would almost think that he was infected and trying to take over, and some sort of emergency protocol tripped that killed everybody, but that was like the failsafe. I'm not saying it's a good failsafe.
It's not
but
a great emergency protocol. Eject crew. Maybe we should, where is that in order of priority? Have we tried reversing the polarity first?
But even logistically, like there's all sorts of problems. Okay, we're kind of used to that now.
Yeah.
My bigger problem is with the motivation of control, because it then again becomes how the entire universe revolves around Michael Burnham. Spock has this whole speech where he's like, "You're the only thing he can't account for. You're the most important thing. You're the only thing that can defeat control." And it's like, oh my God, why can Michael Burnham do anything? She doesn't.
You're out of control, Michael. You're off the case. Turn in your badge and gun.
Yeah, that has been a conflicting message where, like, they're trying to keep her grounded. It's not all about you, Michael, but then it is all about her.
Every time.
Every time. So, yeah, what are we getting at here?
She's just so wild and unpredictable, except I think I can predict that she'll take the most dangerous and emotional choice. Because I was yelling at her too, Char, but at the beginning of the episode, where it's like,
Okay.
Don't you think you're emotional? No, I'm 100% logical in how I'm approaching. Because it seems like you're not thinking clearly. Like, no, I'll go alone. Really? And Spock's like, no, I'll go. No, I don't need anyone. I feel like you probably do. And I'm actually fed up with Michael at this point. I mean, like, she's not Captain material. And I'm sorry that's harsh, but she's not Captain material. She does not make good decisions. I mean, you can argue she's emotionally compromised, and that's fine, but she's emotionally compromised then. I mean, let's be honest. So she's just not making very Starfleet decisions.
Now, I have a question. We have a whole episode in Deep Space Nine about why you should not send husband and wife onto a mission together.
It takes us 200 years to learn or 100 years to learn that. Go ahead.
So presumably there must be something similar for siblings as well, right? You wouldn't want to send two siblings on a mission together. Especially...
Well, technically, Spock's
She's
like
adopted.
off duty right now, so
Yeah, this is volunteer. He's
That's
just
true.
volunteering his time, giving to the
true.
community.
Look, Spock is expressing multiple opinions and attitudes at this time. To which are you referring?
He truly is. What do you guys think of Spock and Burnham's relationship at this point? How are you feeling about it?
It's nice that Spock's no longer like catatonic, and
That's a
we're
plus.
kind of past the whole did he kill people? I mean, that was last week's problem. This week's problem, no, it's interesting. Again, so I did enjoy the book. I can't remember the title, but it's the first of the Discovery books, and there's a whole mission that Spock and Burnham are on together.
Desperate
and
Hours.
it's really
or am I making
interesting.
that up?
I think it's Desperate Hours. Yeah, the titles are all kind of similar for the first few, but I enjoyed it, and I would have liked to see that more. But I guess it's just, again, there's so much that we have to pack into this season, because I don't know. I guess we just gotta, that there's no time to have these interpersonal episodes. We get interpersonal scenes, and then we're off to the next thing.
I mean, he's very in his own way, but not even in his own way. I mean, even really, he's very sweet to her now.
He cares about her, you can tell.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
is that Spock, though? I mean, and I'm not... I'm going to... And I don't know. How do you want to play this game, right? TOS Spock is what I'm talking about. And of course, you could say, well, whatever, we're doing new things, get over it, Philip. And that's fine. I'll accept that. But TOS Spock, I mean, the way he treats Sarek in Babel, or whatever it's called, very... like
Journey
it's
to
not-
Babel.
Yeah, Journey to Babel, sorry. I know that's a Deep Space Nine episode. But Journey to Babel is very, like, cold. And even his mother, he's very distant in that episode. Now, you can say, like, well, things happen in the next 5 years. Okay, fine. But he's just he's being very human right now, as opposed to being very Vulcan later.
Do you suppose that's some of Burnham's influence on him? Is he's around a very emotional and reactive human, and they're spending a lot more time together, and seems like they have buried the hatchet a little bit. Like, they aired their dirty laundry, they had their complaints and their grievances, and then now they really seem to be coming together.
But and I could see them having a poignant moment at the end of the season where, he talks about kind of how he's grown, and he's glad that their relationship is better, and he's going to apply that, into his focus as, and being a Starfleet officer, and then we see him off into, the Enterprise. I'm fine with that.
Except he's not when he gets in it. But anyway, that's it.
Right. Well, and yeah,
No,
that's just
the
it.
last
It's like
scene,
this
he's
incarnation
gonna peel
of
off
Spock.
the sideburns, and it'll be just the goatee.
Will he
And it
shave
was
in the
Beer
last
Spock the
appearance?
whole time.
Oh.
No! The Mirror Universe has not left us. And Giorgio was in on it the whole time.
And like in every little brother, he tattled to mom at the beginning. So I thought that was nice.
Speaking of which, I really enjoyed that moment because we had Mom Burnham talking to Giorgio about Burnham, saying, hey, protect our baby. You love her. I love her too. Make sure she's okay. Well, what about the woman who actually raised her? Okay, so it was nice to see her, and it was nice to see her interacting with both Burnham and Spock at the same time. I love you both. She's such a good mom.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
her. I want her to be my mom.
Yeah, and that was cool. It's like, and it very much felt like you're on phone with mom. Hey, mom, how's it going? I mean, that was
Right.
basically
They're
what it was
FaceTiming
like.
with mom.
Yeah, it's hey, mom, how's it going? Oh, I'm so glad you two are together right now, having
Right.
a space adventures.
The only thing that
Your
would have
father
been better,
says hello,
The only thing that would have been better is if she had to go. It wasn't them, Spock and Burnham, that had to leave. She had to leave because Cybok was calling on the other line.
Oh, your other brother
no.
Cybok's calling.
Oh, man.
Or I have to go make dinner for Sarek.
Right,
See you
yeah.
later.
Sarek, could you get that?
Yeah.
No, like a thing pops up on the hologram that's like, incoming call. Would you like to transfer, hold, or accept call?
She just presses ignore. Anyway.
Yeah,
and it's
she
like
ignores
it's like
Cybok.
S.
Hashtag
it's
not
SB
my kid. So.
It's
Right.
like 3-1 SBK, and all the nerd fans are like, "Oh my lord, what could that be?"
No, I like Cybok, pops up and all three of them just go like,
Hey, Cybok. Hey guys, how's it going?
How you
Go
feeling,
ahead.
everyone? We're
God.
doing good, Cybok.
Guys, let me share my pain with you this week.
Oh, no.
I submitted a book
I'm going
to this
through
online
Hey
magazine
guys, I'm starting
company.
a cult. You want to hear about it?
I'm going through
And
an
they
ion
rejected-
storm. Shh.
We have
They
space
rejected my
unicorns.
manuscript, guys. Feel my pain. Feel my pain.
Let's share it.
I've written a
Let's
poem.
share it.
Oh God.
Was Cyborg
Guys,
a
I
goth
found this
kid?
space horse
Yes.
on this other planet. It's totally like a horse, but it's not because it's on this other planet.
Isn't his
my
mom like
God.
a princess or something? Anyway. Oh well. So
yeah, she
Nobody
was.
cares about Cyborg.
yeah, well. Oh, they have royalty on Vulcan. There's just a whole bunch of things to go there. There's something for Punch It, darling, or for
We don't have time to talk about that, Phil. We're busy following
the Cyborg,
MacGuffin
the
Angel.
Cyborg backstory, Charlene. That's what we need.
Oh.
The Discovery short trek featuring Cyborg. That's what I want.
Okay, I'll jot that down. We'll put it in the idea bank.
That's right. So, Daniel, anything else?
Episode title, Feel Our Pain.
That's right. This episode wasn't that bad. Daniel, what you think of any final thoughts about Section 31 control and where we're heading?
Just oh God,
Into darkness.
please don't be the Borg. Just don't. Please just leave it be. I mean, the bots are green, and it just makes me nervous, and I hate it, and I just don't want to go there. Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
And I mean, we'll go ahead. Well, no, I guess we'll save the ending for the end.
I mean, I'd rather it go more towards the route of like Ultimate Computer or Memory Alpha, or it could be
Ooh.
many other things besides the Borg. The Borg almost
Right.
feels like the cheap out. There's so many other interesting. There's the computer that controlled the asteroid. Was it like Yolanda?
very
And
good.
I mean,
Nice.
there's all sorts of cool AI in TOS era that we could tie this into, even if we don't even need to tie into anything, but if we did, there's lots of options. But the Borg,
So,
I mean,
so what happens is it's not the Borg as we know it, but at the end of either the series or whatever, they're going to time crystal control back in time into
God.
the Delta Quadrant, and et cetera, et cetera.
I still have people in some of the online threads I read, as people are discussing the episode. I need to rewatch Calypso because apparently everyone's like hung up that it's going to be like super integral coming up. So
Well, that's
my theory.
we can do that for a second here because it's not per se. And I was thinking about we can talk about the ending I guess after we talk a story. But I was thinking about like again we have a season 3, so assumingly they're not going to blow be discovery-less in season 3 or else.
unless we all shift over on the Enterprise for the rest of the show.
Well, you have to rename the show, I think. But we do know the Discovery is just hanging out in the middle of Nowheresville for ever. So maybe it just has the sphere plans, but it's hidden away because that's where it is. But anyway,
or maybe it's a copy
I don't know.
like of the Discovery.
Who knows? So all right, well, let's talk a story. Captain Pike and time.
Torpedoes are
Crystal. We can't even do that in the 23rd century. So I don't know. We'll just Char, Captain Pike, Klingons from the future past, time crystals, beep beep. What do you got for me?
Beep beep. Yeah, so we already talked about the rapid aging of Thorell and Vox's son. I mean, it makes enough sense to me. Rapid aging in a
Yeah,
Klingon childhood plus time crystals equals an adult Klingon in the prime of his life. I mean, time crystals are amazing things, and that'll never change him.
Now, are you giving Darren? Are you giving your kids time crystals, or are you going organic?
no, but I am giving them tunnel vision crowns because
Okay.
that makes it all the better.
Now, Char and Darren, my wife Jessica, did ask when the Klingon appeared. She's like, "Oh, is that one of those Delin Klingons?" I'm like, "Oh, is that? Are you asking is that a Minbari Klingon?" Oh.
I see it. I see it.
Oh, no? I did not see that. But maybe
He's
I
very
will look
religious
again.
cast in a way. He's very,
Well, yeah, he's kind of got this sacred thing going on. That's true. Real quick, before we get into Pike, I want to talk a little bit just about L'Rell and Tyler. I was really
Sure.
glad to see that the situation brought them back together. I mean, it seems like this has really helped them clear the air between these two, and they're in a good place. And that's kind of nice because a lot of our characters are not. Now, that doesn't mean their story's complete. They still have, they've got their son. They've both agreed to look out for him. So there's potential there. But it's kind of nice to see something resolved and not in a massive whiplash fashion on Discovery. So there was that. Now, to Pike, I just really want to jump to the moment. The gut punch moment, sealing his fate, knowing what's going to happen. We've always known beep beep, but how we got there was way more powerful than beep beep itself. Oh my gosh.
I believe that's what Neil Armstrong said on the moon.
Really?
Yeah.
One
Cool.
small beep beep,
Giant leap for beep beep beep. Yeah.
Beep. Yeah. So, I'm putting myself in Pike's shoes, despite the warnings of madness, despite the sealing of his fate. And Pike doing what he must to get the time crystals is so ballsy. Wow. That's amazing. The way he centers himself with the self-talk about what truly matters to him, it's damn heroic, so pure. Just when I thought I couldn't love this guy anymore, that happened, and it was a gut punch to the heart, but it was warming at the same time because it reaffirms every belief I've had about Pike. I don't know about you guys. And the way that he looks, you can tell he's so haunted with this knowledge afterward. It makes me feel really kind of sad for him, and he's doing his best to deal with it, but how well would any of us cope with something like that? Probably not very well, which is why Ash and Laurel's son says, hey, look, these things cause a lot of madness, knowing your fate. Do tread carefully. Pike is maybe one of the very few people who actually can maybe handle this. And I feel like they nailed this moment. Serious props to Anson Mount, to the writers. This might be one of Discovery's finest moments. I'm going to pin it that high.
I like the production of it. Like, when he's the makeup in the beep beep chair, that's what... I don't even know who the actor was because it wasn't Jeff Hunt because he had died by then. But anyway, whoever was in the menagerie, that look, they nailed it. A lot of times they don't nail it, but they nailed that look. I don't know why his face was melting, but that's fine. Whatever, I'll go with it.
To torture Pike.
Well, and it's interesting how it's not like they just cut to him in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
They also had shots of the explosion and the engine compartment, and he's trying to get everyone out, and
now,
obviously
Darren,
he's exposed to some radiation.
I was thinking of you because, you make it so I can't enjoy anything anymore. Where was that scene shot, Darren?
It looked like the Discovery engine room.
Really?
It looked like it to me.
Okay.
The brewery. Wait.
It was a Starfleet Academy training simulation, Darren. Several years from now, are you telling me it looks like... Okay, never mind.
But no. And then apparently we're on the bridge of the Enterprise for a moment, too, which looks...
In the teaser, too, so...
Yeah, maybe that's the teaser I'm thinking of, yeah. But, but we see that, which had a lot of parallels to Spock and Star Trek 2, where Spock also sacrifices himself and is dosed with radiation and dies. But yeah, with Pike, and again, hats off to our actors because he really nailed like we're saying, man is not meant to totally know his future. I don't think we could even handle that.
Right. That's why we don't.
That's why we don't. Yeah, and to see. It's like to see your own face in the mirror, but it's not you. And to see this, and it wasn't just like this vision, but he's also feeling like he's standing right in front of himself. And I like the updated beep beep chair was well done. It's still, you knew exactly what it was, but it wasn't like a black with a white single dot in the middle,
It didn't look like a cardboard box.
No.
Yeah, one thing... And
it felt more like a life support because you had like the breathing sound in the background and stuff like that where I knew it was life support in the menagerie, but it really came across like that in this episode.
Yes, he becomes Vader.
Agreed.
Never would have expected it. I enjoyed it. The only thing, Char, I agree is it's a powerful moment. It happened so fast, it was hard for me to... really buy it. Like I get what he's doing. You know, Pike is reacting to this vision, and so he's holding on. He literally almost holds on to his insignia on his chest about what Starfleet is. Though when he's listing the things, I'm with him. Then he says like, because he says it really fast, because he's obviously in an excited state. But sacrifice, and he's like love, and I'm like, well, I don't know. That's really one of the key components of Starfleet. But I mean, if you're just talking about good qualities, I guess, we're not exactly, all rainbows and unicorns. But I get what you're going for. But then I guess the thought is, and now that he knows his future, because then, I don't know the Klingon's name, but he says, once you do this, you can't change it. And I'm like, well, what bullshit's that? I mean, why? Why does breaking a crystal make a fixed point in time? So if I don't touch the crystal, I'm not gonna, well, that's anyway. It just seems weird. But anyway, but that aside, but like, so now that he knows his future, I almost wonder, like, and of course we'll never see it, but when it comes to that time, is there a pause where he's like, if I save that cadet, and then you have to have that, you have to show that of like, well, he's gonna do it. But, he has to have that thought of he knows now what he's going to happen when he does that versus when he's just acting on instinct the first time.
Well, I think when you're in a situation that's a crisis, you're not thinking, you're just doing.
But
so
now he
by the
knows.
time he comes to realize that is the moment, too late.
Yeah. When he sees that explosion on the Discovery engine, in the Starfleet Academy training simulation, or whatever it is. But cool.
So
yes.
Here's the thing.
I'm actually reading. I'm just reading right now that supposedly the ship that they're on is a Class J starship, and it's like a training vessel, and that's where Captain Pike had the. But this, I think, was described in like the menagerie,
Yeah.
but then also verified in.
What class?
through
I forget.
the-
What class is Discovery again?
Uh,
Something weird sounding.
Crossfield class.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. I thought if it was maybe a class, it started with.
Why did I
J.
know that?
I don't know why. 'Cause they never represent. Maybe it's the Starship Crossfield or something. Anyway, go ahead. But Daniel, you're going to say something.
Well, yeah. So the moment itself, I liked his sort of kind of building himself up there to hype himself there. Everything around it, the context made no sense for me. And this is the thing, and this is the worry that I had with Discovery, was they're just prequelizing too much. I kind of like when random stuff happens, when space is dangerous and it's not some part of some galactic intricate timeline, like when Yar died in some random episode with some stupid gas alien thing. And it's like when something just
They
happens,
attacked Saru's planet, Daniel. I think we should show some respect. Sorry.
or like, I don't know, it bothers me that we need to contextualize what we know is already going to happen for no reason. This just doesn't do anything. I just feel like this is just a callback. And it doesn't,
Really?
to me, it doesn't add anything to Pike. I'd rather him be a heroic person in a moment of crisis, where he doesn't have any foreknowledge of what's about to happen. It feels like it takes away from it. It doesn't add anything. I don't know why he needs to know this. And
Is it a self-destination paradox?
and another part of the problem is because we don't understand the rules about time crystals or anything, because they don't lay them out clearly. His fate, because this is supposed to show him his fate. His fate is actually much, much more pleasant than this. This is just a bad thing that happens to him on the road. This is like, this is what happens to lead to it. But he actually gets a pretty fantastic send-off. Like, his actual fate is that he gets to live in paradise until oblivion or whatever. So it's like, it's not even effective prequelizing. It's not effective adding anything that makes any sort of sense. It's just like, hey, the thing that's going to happen to this guy. We also know the thing that's going to happen to this guy, and now we're going to tell you why the thing's going to happen to this guy. Where I like it better, where it's just a thing that happens, and it's not tied into this entire thing, and it doesn't. You're not adding anything. Is I guess my point.
Now, does the time crystal, is it a way of self-preservation? Like any kind of animal or plant has a defense mechanism. Does it only show you the worst thing in your past, and then that way you won't break it off and take it?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Because if it showed, you get made young again and go with Vina or whatever her name is that you're hot for school about. then he'd be like, oh, shoot, let me break a couple of these out.
I mean, it's true. Pike does come out okay in the end. So how bad for him can we feel really knowing that outcome?
Well, and also remember, for the viewers that have not seen TOS, I mean, they don't know any of the foreshadowed of Pike. So, yes, for us, the veterans who know the menagerie and things like that, we know that what that means, but they also have to present this in a way where, oh my gosh, Pike, in the future, something bad happens to him, and he's like stuck in a wheelchair and all jacked up. Like, that's all they know is what they've been shown in this episode.
That's such a good point, Darren. You're right. It's not necessarily, I mean, it is a bit for us because we know the history, like it can hit us on an emotional level, but for people who have no idea of that context, this is, I think, a big point for that audience to feel things for Pike in a completely different way, and it works on both levels.
I mean, it's like, imagine like the Tapestry episode with Picard, and he sees a future where he's going to be assimilated by the Borg or something like that. I mean, I know the timeline is a little different of like when that episode happened, but for us watching it, we're like, oh my gosh, Captain Picard, who we idolize, made this choice knowing of what his future was going to be and the scars it was going to give him. Same thing, they're just doing that now for Captain Pike, for that character. I mean, I think we can all universally say we like the Pike character. And
oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not denying what you're saying, Daniel, of why do we need to tie it in with TOS and all these little, it's like, let's fill in these gaps that weren't asked to fill in. But we're kind of already here in that time. Time. So
right,
there's not much else
here.
to do. Yeah, but I look at it more as, people really like Pike and who don't even know, who didn't watch The Cage. Also think about it, that they only gave us that little intro loop in that one episode about The Cage, and that was it. So they have it, and that, which I'm assuming is that they felt we need to share this for you to get the full context of what is happening in this episode.
Right. And I
because
think
they haven't done that in every episode.
And maybe the hope is, though, is that people who are watching Discovery as new viewers go back and watch the TOS episodes, The Cage and the Menagerie.
On CBS All Access, you can subscribe for $11.99 every month.
There you go. So, I mean, hey, if that's a part of the intent, so be it. I don't really care.
I was going to say, again, and maybe I missed it, and that's always a possibility. So a lot of time, I think, was it the other episode, last episode, because it just runs together, where they give me a premise at the beginning of the episode, and then expect me to watch the whole episode. Instead, I'm yelling at them the whole episode because the premise doesn't make sense. So here's my question. They want a time crystal. What are they going to do with it? Because I was asking my wife about 10 minutes in, like, hold on. I think I literally paused it because, so what's the plan? They're going to get a time crystal and then attach data to it, and then
I don't know,
magic wand, and it goes into. I mean, what are they using for an apparatus? Like, they don't have a suit. Like, what are they going to do with the time crystal?
There's a line in the episode, and Pike gets back on Discovery. He's back in the ready room with L'Rell and Ash. And they go, well, now that you have the time crystal, what are you going to do, Captain? He goes, I don't know, man. I guess we'll figure it out when we get the other 3 signals. I don't know.
Oh, that's right. He literally says there's 3 more signals. I'm sure the answer will present itself to us.
He said, I trust the writers.
Basically.
So it's like, okay, the writers don't know.
Guys, the writers are the red angel of the signals.
They're sending the signals.
It makes so much sense. Is Pike becoming the Deadpool character where he sees through the fourth wall to our universe?
Yeah, it's like the premise of, like, we need to capture the Red Angel. I'm like, why? And then this is, we need to get a crystal. Why? What are you going to do with it? Or, I mean, why don't you get the Klingons to do something? They apparently know how to use them.
But do they? Okay, I don't really. Do we want to get into this? Because I really just... Nothing about
no, let's ignore the episode, Daniel. Thank you. It's been a great time, guys.
I'm just saying, like, what the hell? Like, what is
going on in Borth?
What is this planet? What is going on? There's just trees growing out of the ground.
I am the guardian of forever. Kol Spock Vestrukumbach.
No, look, this is the pillar of the past, Daniel. And if you take 10 steps forward, the penitent man will pass, and then this is the pillar
of the present.
of
By the way, I know
of
what the
future.
third one is. You don't have to tell me.
I've seen. Yeah. What?
Of the thou shalt not be. Oh, you got me.
What
you
is
got me.
what? I mean, there's no explanation. There's no reasoning behind it. There's no sort of, and we just glossed over it. And now they're just crystals that grow out of the ground. They're not even doing anything to them. They're not like plugging them into the computer and putting a date into them. They're not like. They're not like smacking them with a stick. They just do things. They just do things.
You touch it once, Daniel. It's like this touch lamp I have right here. So you touch it once, you get a vision, and then if you accept the vision, you have to press yes to the terms, conditions, and agreement. You can then
accept.
Which you don't read.
You can then touch it again, and nothing will happen. So if you give the crystal to someone else, they have to wear gloves. I don't know. I don't know is the answer. I don't know.
It's totally murky. It occurs to me that the Klingons don't really mess with these time crystals too much. At least that's the vibe that I got. They're considered sacred.
Unless you're a baby and you use it as a pacifier, and then you.
But he was meant to be on Boreth. He was meant to be the guardian of the time crystals. So be it. We all have a destiny.
I still think my theory is valid that Michael is the Red Angel, and she is the one that creates the
7 signals.
She creates the signals. She eventually gets the time suit and then fixes it with the time crystal we just got. And because all the times that the mom was like, "Oh, I didn't know about this and this and this and this."
Yes, theorizing that one could
weird.
time travel within her own time. Michael Burnham stepped into the Red Angel suit and vanished.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense, Darren, since we did get that knowledge that Michael's mom had nothing to do with the 7 signals. So then it's like, okay, well, what the heck is going on with these things?
Right.
And remember,
So that would
Spock
explain
knows
that.
about them. Spock had a vision
Or
about the 7 signals.
maybe the time crystal creates the signals. They don't actually travel through time. They just use it to create the signals.
Ooh.
I don't know, guys. We got 2 episodes left.
We don't know.
That'll
But you know
explain
what?
everything.
I'm here for whatever the time crystals do, because I do feel like we are jumping into Calypso territory. We mentioned it a while back, but I feel like that's why we got this short trek and we're headed into that territory, and I'm here for it. I'm excited. I think maybe we're finally going to get some answers about all of this crap.
All right, well,
I feel like we had a very similar sentiment towards the end of last season.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh man, everything about the spore drive will be answered. We'll totally understand it within context. And once we get the whole, and the Klingon War will all make sense. And then everything just wrapped up in
And
like
then it was
10
like, hey
seconds.
guys, it's been 9 months, and we don't have to care about the war anymore, and the spore drive is broken.
Yeah, so
But-
I feel like it's
by the
gonna
way,
be the same
can I
thing.
have the short trek that explains why Stamets can use the spore drive no problem now? No? Okay, moving on then. I don't know.
Yeah, I was surprised at that too, where like the spore drive dropped in. I'm like, so it was broken.
Well, he used to
but
be driving him
apparently
crazy, but he's fine
fixed
now.
it.
So
Speaking of the spore drive, Philip, do we want to talk about the end of the episode?
okay, so the end of the episode. Oh boy. So Daniel, are you trying to say that when you're surrounded by a bunch of Section 31 ships, you just press the button and disappear?
When you have the ability to go anywhere in the galaxy, you literally can leave and go wherever you want.
But Daniel, we don't have time to know where we're going.
You can go anywhere. In fact, to even suggest that the only option you have is to destroy the ship that you're on is madness. It's tantamount to madness. You have the only ship that
But
can
Daniel,
go anywhere.
they'll never stop hunting them.
Yes.
Thus, there's no reason to actually try to get away.
What's
They'll just
amazing-
never stop.
The stakes have never been higher.
What's amazing is if you go somewhere and then all the people follow you to the there, you can also go to the other there where it'll probably take some time to get to the there too.
So
And you-
just go beta gamma, beta gamma, beta gamma,
then throw a
It's
delta,
like,
and
son
then-
of a.
But then let's
Yeah.
assume that this is some sort of weird proto-Borg. How many other things get assimilated along the way? Maybe they're trying to do damage control. I just want to put that
What if
out
they
there.
just spore drive beyond the Great Barrier? Nobody can get you there now. Woo!
Ooh. And then they all become gods. Yeah, it all works out.
What does God need with a spore drive?
Oh, episode title. All right, so
God, did you order this pizza with pepperoni and mushroom?
Hey.
So apparently, the only solution is not only to blow up Discovery, which I suggested 3 episodes ago. Thank you. But we have to transfer everyone to another ship called the Enterprise.
And number 1's gonna be back. It's about freaking time.
And Pike's gonna put his uniform back on real fast.
Thank God.
So we know.
Well, we've all been itching. Let's be honest. These Discoveries suits chafe. So Char, you already tweeted. What's our next episode title next week?
It is called Sweet Sorrow, or Parting is Such Sweet Sorrow.
Yes.
It is called Such Sweet Sorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you. I totally butchered that, but
That's all
that's
right.
the context. And boy, that's loaded, isn't it?
And I'm not one of the sealers who's going to go crazy about this stuff, but we did get a glimpse of the Enterprise bridge, and my 5-second glimpse, I didn't pause or anything. It looked fine. I would
Looked good.
worry, but I'm not going to kill myself if it looks weird. But I'd rather it not look weird. But it looked, I saw red. I saw a thing. It looked fine. So
There's the chairs that look
Yeah.
accurate. I mean, I think they're going to do a decent enough job. I do feel like next episode is going to be Pike's farewell to
Yeah.
us, and that makes me sad.
I will remember you.
But if it gives us acting Captain Saru for a few episodes,
because he's a
that would be
badass
great.
now.
Can we just remove the acting part of it?
Yes.
Can we just make him captain already?
If,
He's so ready.
Sorry, we only do acting.
What? No, they'll make him
captains.
captain for the last 3 minutes before the self-destruct.
Oh, is that how we're going to end the? Is that
Saru,
Oh.
he's like Captain. Someone's got to go down with the ship. Well, Saru, you're no longer acting
Guys,
captain.
Oh man,
If-
it's a good
if-
thing those threat ganglia are gone.
if this series ends with Michael and Discovery with the self-destruct, and there's an explosion and credits roll, I will throw things at the TV.
Number 1, fire.
That's right.
Yeah, I was just thinking, Mr. Saru, detonate.
That's right.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
I don't know. We will see. I think it's maybe going to be a little more of a situation where they find themselves flung in the future,
Again.
and then it's like, whoa, okay, now what? Amidst some other crisis that we.
So
don't
you're
know
saying
yet.
the only spore ship, theoretically in existence, is flown forward in time, and so that's why there is no spore drive in the 23rd century because it's gone. And
And maybe
Michael's,
they never figured out why, and so they
and-
think,
and
okay, too
Michael's
dangerous,
gone.
back off.
so no one
Yeah.
talks about her anymore. So
Right,
that
right.
season 3 is when was Calypso?
It's a good thing
900 years
good
in the
thing
future?
Pike and Spock got off, because otherwise
Exactly.
they would.
Exactly, so we can get that spin-off show that everybody's talking about.
That's right. So yeah.
So wait, so are we saying that it's gonna shift full on Voyager, and the whole season's about getting back to
Yeah.
22nd
Only-
Except they're stuck in time.
Only
they're not
it
stuck
doesn't.
Yeah.
That's going to be the twist, and the damnation is probably going to be satisfying in some weird way.
Yeah, there's going to be this episode in season 3 where they have to abandon the Discovery and they all go to a planet, and then Calypso takes place in that episode, and then they find a way back to Discovery, and they're like, "Hey, who's been moving all our shit around?" Oh well, So
Then the Enterprise J swoops in, and they're like,
Oh.
"Whoa, look at that!"
At that
ship."
point, I think it's the Enterprise ZZ, but
Or
yeah,
maybe,
so-
I don't know, Captain Braxton is what I'm going for.
Oh,
He's going to correct it somewhat,
that's right.
because he's a little
Oh man, if
stressed
they
about
could
what
like
Janeway does.
de-age that actor and make it totally look like he did in the 90s,
Or they could just
I would-
recast him for the 3rd time, but whatever.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't know. You know what? My final thoughts really
Yes.
are that my biggest concern at this point with the scarce couple of episodes left is that it is going to be rushed and it isn't going to be satisfying just like the end of season 1. And no, I really, really don't want that because the story they're telling is good, but dang if we're not moving at warp speed.
Yeah.
Spore speed.
Sorry,
right.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, with the mushroom crystals that they use.
Mushroom crystals. That's what's going to happen is the spore drive is going to merge with the time crystals, and then we've got a real big problem on our hands that
If you can
duct
go
tape
anywhere
cannot
in
fix.
space and time, but
Well, look,
unreliable,
Control
I'd watch that series.
has a glove, and it's got to put all 6 crystals in the glove.
Okay. Well,
Oh my-
I think that's more than enough. So, Char, where can we find you on the interwebs?
Well, the best place is to find me on Twitter, and my handle is the profanity. In the ether, you can hear me talk even more about Star Trek with Tristan Riddell here on the Nerd Party Network. We do Punch It, writing in Star Trek. So if you can't get enough Star Trek, hit us up and explore what ifs as we plot things that maybe could have happened, should have happened, or whatever. We just make it all up. It's fun. And I also do a video podcast with my husband, Patrick, and we're watching Babylon 5. He's watching it for the very first time, and so we watch an episode, get a reaction, cut it down to 5 minutes, and it's a babble for 5.
Awesome. Daniel, if people want to talk to you about your crystal collection, where can they find you?
You know, Char, just because you brought it up, these guys made me watch a Babylon 5 episode not too long ago.
Whoa, and you did?
I did.
What did you think?
It was okay.
Which one did you watch?
Now, it wasn't the best choice. I was, yeah. Well, we'll talk about that later.
Okay, we can talk off
okay.
podcast, but I want to know more. I want to know about this.
Okay. Yeah, so you can find me, and including my reactions to that one Babylon 5 episode I've ever seen, on Twitter at OneUpDan. That's the number 1, not the word.
All right, Darren, if people want to know about how your 2 adult children are doing, where can they find you?
Yes, they can find me on Twitter, Twitch, or Instagram under username Dr. Sci-Fi. Also getting into the Timex Corporation, so it's going to be interesting.
All right. And if folks want to talk to me about how me and my wife are dealing with our 2nd anniversary, oh man, oh boy, I tell you what, they can find me on Twitter at NC Public Servant, or listen to us talk Doctor Who on Time and Space. Well, guys, as we said, next week we'll be talking about our first Shakespearean title of Star Trek Discovery. So until then, I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Brew.
I'm Darren Moser.
And I am definitely Jet Reno.
Stranded here in time on City Alpha 3.